Hi there, this is Sean Broderick. Recently I went on a trip out to a gold mining exploration camp out on Unga Island in the Aleutian Islands in Alaska. It was an exciting trip. They have an incredible amount of targets to drill out there on an island which actually hosts the first underground gold mine in Alaska, but was abandoned a long time ago for reasons I'll explain. While I was there, I got to interview the CEO, Charles Funk, and so that's what I'm going to show you today. He's had a lot of experience in mining, he's made great discoveries before, and now he thinks he's on the trail of something big. So, let's get to it, and I'll introduce you to Charles. Hi there folks, Sean Broderick here. I'm in the Aleutian Islands, on Unga Island, which is the 20th largest island in the U.S. You didn't know that? You're going to learn a lot of fascinating things in this interview. I'm with Charles Funk. He's the CEO of Heliostar Metals. They are exploring for gold here on Unga Island, which, another fun fact, was the first underground gold mine in Alaska. They actually found gold on the beach here, but there's so much gold. It's crazy. They have 4 very prospective properties. They have more properties beyond that they are drilling. Charles is going to give us the rundown on what his company is doing. Charles, could you speak to my subscribers?
Yeah, well, so first of all, welcome to Unga Island.
Thanks.
We've got some magical weather, and we've got out to see some of these recent results we've put out.
Yeah. And we went tromping all over hill and dale. You guys have been working hard. What did you find during this current drill program?
Yeah, so we've just put out our second batch of results at Apollo at the old mine. We're the first company to have drilled underneath the old mine. And so we started off with some spectacular results, 3 meters at just short of 3 ounces gold. Now we've followed up and stepped along. And so we're just starting to understand and learn. And we've got good hits over about 500 meters of strike. But as we walk today, that's just a small part of the whole trend that we're exploring.
Just the tip of the iceberg. And as you said, there was an old working gold mine here back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Tell us a little about the historical mine, because that gives us kind of a clue of what you guys might find, right?
Yeah, we're going to work through a whole series of targets that makes this project exciting. And the one we've just started on is the old mine. So it started in 1886. It ran to the early 1920s. It produced 130,000 ounces at about a third of an ounce gold.
High grade.
Very high grade, and we walked over it. You could see the stopes, these huge stopes. And the problem they faced is as they got deeper, they started getting base metals with the gold. And for them and the technology that we saw at the old mill, they couldn't recover that gold. Today, that means that that's sitting there as an opportunity for us, and that's exactly what we're drilling. And we've had some really nice hits along there that remain open to expand.
Right. The technology for mining back in those days was so primitive. It has advanced so much that it just brings to mind the old saying, which I've repeated to you guys a lot: the best place to look for a gold mine is in an old gold mine. I mean, they only walked away from it because the ore changed and they couldn't really process it anymore. Now they can. And like I said, this island's wide open. They have some amazing prospects. Just can you run down the top 4 prospects you have?
Yeah, so we just talked about Apollo, which had never been drilled, and so we think that's the huge opportunity. We've just skipped past 384,000 ounces at 13.8 grams per tonne gold. That's our SH1 resource. That's open. We're drilling underneath that. At Aquila, we made a discovery last year. We're expanding that, and we're taking you there tomorrow to show you the expansion at Aquila. And then Centennial's a non-compliant resource. In the 80s, they defined it, but it doesn't meet the modern standards. There's clearly gold there, and we think that there's even higher grade gold than they found. So that's our 4 priority targets that we think are high probability. There's already gold, we're looking for more. But what makes Unga so incredible as an opportunity is that they're just 4 of dozens and dozens of targets that have outcropping veins, or old timers sunk a shaft and sampled high grade gold. And so we're working all those up, and that's what makes this district incredible, is that we have so many targets that have seen so little exploration.
It really is district size potential, and I think it's quite exciting. There's a lot more to it. I mean, we only have so much time, and I want to keep this video to some kind of reasonable length. But you guys just completed your you completed this season's drill program, so you have to process those results, and that will give you an idea of what you want to do in the next drilling season. Isn't that right?
Exactly. By the time we finish, we'll have just short of about between 50 and 60 drill holes. So we've got a lot of drilling done, and we need those results back before we can work out how to react and go from those. And so an incredible statistic, thanks to our VP of Exploration, is that we will drill more meters on Unga Island outside of the resource this year than the project's seen in its entire 135-year history. That's incredible for how little exploration this project's seen.
I'm wondering if we should pause while the helicopter lands. Why don't we do
cut for the helicopter?
Yeah, we'll do that. One more thing that I did want to touch on, actually two things. You have a great team here. I mean, people are very strong in this industry, and also you have good relations with the locals, which, as anyone who actually builds a gold mine knows, that's very important. We know some great projects that really haven't gone anywhere because they don't get along with locals. These people like mining. They have a history of it. So could you please speak to those two things?
Yeah, so first, we understand that it takes a team to make a discovery, to build out a resource and to build a mine. And so we're very fortunate to have Sam Anderson, our VP of Exploration, years of experience doing exactly this. Stu Harris, our Exploration Manager, has done an amazing job running this program. You met Joy Huntington, our Community Relations Manager. We need to have all that group of people and supported by our guys in the head office that allows this to happen. And so you need that strength to take these projects forward. So we're very lucky to have a very young but a very experienced and dynamic team. And then, community relations. The mistake that historically has been made is to think about community relations when you want a permit or when you want to build a mine. We're fortunate that we have great partners in the town of Sandpoint. There's two local tribes, the Unga and the QTT, and so they've been great partners. We're drawing employment from there. And you said they've got a history of mining with the original mine that founded the town of Unga. And so even though fishing today is the dominant industry, there's a recognition of what mining can bring. We have to do all the right things, but we're very fortunate to be in this community because they're great partners.
Okay. What kind of things can we look forward to from your company, say, over the course of the next year? Now, we should also mention you have a very prospective property down in Mexico. But I mean, what things will we see happening from you guys? Yeah,
so on a weeks, months, and years scale, weeks is more results. We've got most of the programs still in the lab, and so you can see more results from where we've been at Apollo, from Aquila, and deeper under the resource. Then, in the next few months, we'll look to come back and continue on that program. In fact, at Centennial, because it's close to Sandpoint, we could drill at any time of the year. We've also got some pretty exciting but earlier stage projects in Mexico, and we definitely want to explore those later in the year. And then longer term, we think that 1 million ounces is the first key goal for here at Unga. If we can deliver that, we obviously get the re-rating, but that's the trigger to start the PEA, the permitting process, to ultimately bring Unga back into production. And each one of those steps comes with a re-rating.
So 1 million ounce is their target, high-grade gold. It's in the Aleutian Islands, which you might think is far away, but actually access by water is quite good, and they also have airstrips and stuff. So it ain't that far away from things, actually. I mean, so you have that going for you as well. Are there any challenges that we should know about?
Yeah, I think that the key challenge is that it's early stage exploration here. We say it's a remote project, but it is accessible. And so what we find the key is to be organised and ahead of time. If you decide tomorrow you want to be going the next day, it's hard. But if we're well organised, and instead of just bringing one rig at a time, we brought 3 rigs to site to bring that economies of scale to really crack this nut and show the full potential.
You have 2 RC rigs and 1 diamond drill rig, isn't that right?
That's exactly right.
And so those are the results we're going to see over the weeks to come.
Yeah, you've seen the first few, and we've had good to very good results, and hopefully that continues.
Okay, great. Let's give them the stock symbol.
Yeah, so if you're in Canada on the Venture Exchange, it's HSTR, but more likely you're on the OTCQX and it's HSTXF, or come and find us at heliostarmetals.com.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Charles. I think this project really has potential. You can see the excitement in the people who visit that something like this, it's really something that comes along once in a great while. And so it is very early stage. He told you that himself, which means that it has all the risks of an early stage project, but it also has incredible potential. So definitely keep your eye on it. We'll be talking about it more. Thank you very much, Charles, and thank you folks for tuning in.
Thank you.
That was my interview with Heliostar Metals CEO Charles Funk. It's a fascinating project, very early stage, and so it has its challenges, but really it has enormous potential as well. There's a lot more exciting things on that island. I hope I'll have a chance to tell you about them sometime. It is mineral rich, and the team up there is very busy finding out what they can find. So stay tuned. I'll have more for you soon. Thank you very much. This has been Sean Broderick for Weiss Ratings in Alaska.